And as a result, when I do see Sam, he and I wind up kind of monopolizing the conversation because I don't see him very often.
Yeah.
But I don't think I favor one of you over the other.
And I mean, I will say that I think you and I do have stuff in common. Like, despite the fact I really hate reading, I have your, like, talent for writing. Well, I wouldn't say talent, but desire for writing.
From a creative standpoint, I think we are very much on par.
Outside of all my other creative stuff.
Well, I mean, I may not be able to do the artistic stuff that you do, but I can certainly take a step back and give you an independent opinion of it that provides value to you, I hope.
Yeah.
So anyway, just wanted to say I don't have favorites.
All right.
Just for the record.
Cool.
So the next bias that we have is Halo bias. I know this is not the Microsoft game Halo. First impressions have a lot to do with the halo effect. For example, let's say you have a friend your parents like because she was polite or got great grades. They don't worry when you hang out together and allow you to stay out later with them. You might not get a lot of the usual questions a parent would ask about where are you going and what time will you be home. So it's a win-win for everyone. However, you soon learn she shoplifted, she cheated on exams, and was into whatever the new illicit trend was at the time. So you stop hanging out with that friend because you realize she wasn't a good influence. Your parents, however, can't wrap their heads around it. They can't believe they were so wrong about her. Even after she's suspended from school, they still ask whatever happened to that night.
The perception that she's a great student. This student is just like the teenage friend.
Now, do you know anyone like that?
Anyone that, like, has good stuff and then just doesn't do good stuff later on?
Well, anyone who is perceived by people as being someone who you know them not to be.
I mean, kind of. I had this one friend who was also one of the friends that said, had the unconscious bias that if I, dressed differently, I wouldn't be depressed.
Your fashion friend, right, got it.
I'm not gonna... So, they were a good student because they were in a higher class because they were in my advanced geometry class. However, when I talked with them at lunch, because we had the same lunch period, they were a completely different person and somehow admitted some really weird stuff, like...
Well, don't get into details.
Yeah, but it was weird stuff to where it's like, I don't know why... Like, I never perceived that of them, and, like, they would just casually say it to me and my other friend, and, like, we were both kind of weirded out by it, so...
Okay. So that would be a yes.
Yes. I should have gone with a more simpler answer then.
So the next type of bias is perception bias. So perception bias is the tendency to form stereotypes and assumptions about certain groups that make it difficult to make an objective judgment about individual members of those groups. While affinity bias and halo effect tend to be specific to an individual and our perception of them, perception bias is typically based on a larger labeling of a group and influences everyone associated with that group. Meaning if we had an experience that